ASTRO's military barracks are usually synonymous with the rigid atmosphere, full of discipline and minimal entertainment. But who would have thought, behind the rigors of military life, there was one shocking moment that made everyone suddenly excited. This event comes from a popular figure who is undergoing military service. Cha Eun-woo, an actor and idol who is known for his handsome face and warm personality. That day, the atmosphere of the barracks actually went on as usual. Early in the morning, the soldiers got up, did apples, then exhausting physical exercises. Afterwards, they returned to the barracks to rest for a while before continuing their next activity. No one expected that Eun-woo had prepared something that would become the subject of a long story among his colleagues. Since the beginning of his enlistment, Eun-woo has been in the spotlight among his colleagues. Not only because of his popularity, but also because of his humble attitude. He never presented himself as a celebrity, instead trying hard to blend in with the harsh military life. Many of the soldiers in the barracks felt awkward at first, and some were even secretly nervous about being in a room with a big idol like him. But over time, they see that Eun-woo is really trying just like them. Getting up early, washing his uniform, joining push-ups without complaining, even willing to help his colleague who is struggling with cleaning tasks. That's why, in just a few weeks, the initially rigid atmosphere of the barracks slowly melted away. They begin to think Eun-woo is not just a celebrity, but a friend in arms. One afternoon, after quite exhausting field exercises, the soldiers returned to the barracks with lethargic faces. Some even immediately collapsed on the bed. Some are busy tidying up the equipment. Amid that atmosphere, Eun-woo notices that many of her colleagues seem stressed. It looks like they need something to freshen up the atmosphere, he muttered softly. That night, while most of her colleagues are asleep, Eun-woo secretly starts preparing something. He knows that tomorrow there is little free time before the next training schedule. It's time to make a little surprise. Harnessing her creativity, Eun-woo begins to devise a simple but meaningful plan. He didn't have much material, just makeshift equipment in the barracks, but that was exactly what made his plan even more special. The next day, after the morning apple and lunch, the soldiers were given time to rest in the barracks. Everything seemed to be going normally, until suddenly there was a quiet music sound from the corner of the room. At first, some of the soldiers only turned their heads briefly. They thought it was just the sound of a military radio that was often turned on. But when they heard the sound of an acoustic guitar played with a beautiful rhythm, they began to wonder each other. "Who brought the guitar?" whispered one of them. Soon, Eun-woo appears, standing in the middle of the barracks with a simple guitar in his hand. A slight smile was etched on his face, while all eyes were on him. "Friends," he said in a warm tone, "I know life is hard here, so I wanted to give you all a little surprise. Just think of this as a refresher before we get back to practice." The atmosphere of the barracks that had been silent suddenly crowded. Some immediately applauded, some cheered a little, and some just stared with their eyes sparkling with enthusiasm. Without much ado, Eun-woo starts strumming a guitar and singing a song excitedly. His distinctive, melodious voice seemed to hypnotize the room. The soldiers who initially just sat quietly now began to join in the quiet humming. It didn't take long. The atmosphere of the barracks completely changed. From what used to be quiet, it is now filled with laughter and cheers. There were even those who got out of bed and then danced with ridiculous movements, making everyone laugh out loud. Eun-woo didn't stop there. After performing one song, he proceeded to make a simple game. He invited his colleagues to a Guess the Song contest where he would play a short guitar note. Then they had to guess the title. As it turned out, the game was met with incredible enthusiasm. All scramble to answer, tease each other until the atmosphere is completely broken. "Wow, I never thought Eun-woo could bring this kind of atmosphere," exclaimed one of the soldiers with a laugh. "Right? Usually the rest time is just sleeping or silent. But this time we can laugh it off. It feels like there is new energy," added another. Even the seniors who are usually serious also smiled to see the behavior of the juniors who are so excited. One of Eun-woo's closest associates commented, "She's different. Even though he was a celebrity, he never made a distance with us. He's the one trying to get closer. This surprise is proof of how sincerely he wants us to feel comfortable here." Imperceptibly, the break is almost over. But the atmosphere of the barracks remained excited even after the activities were completed. They kept talking about the surprise, as if it were a new positive energy to live the next hard days. Someone said, "Today I will probably remember the entire time of enlistment. It feels great to be able to sing and laugh with Eun-woo." That moment then became the story material that kept rolling from one soldier to another. In fact, the news of Eun-woo's surprise was heard to other barracks, making many soldiers curious about the warmth of the atmosphere he created. After that first shock, the atmosphere in the barracks completely changed. Usually, rest time is only filled with a short nap, reading a pocketbook, or just daydreaming. But the day was different. The barracks were full of laughter, singing, and a sense of community that rarely arises amid the rigors of military life. The soldiers, who usually kept the burden and pressure, suddenly felt like returning to adolescence, free to laugh, joke, even shout without fear of being scolded. It all started with Eun-woo's simple initiative, which turned out to be able to ignite the fire of happiness in the hearts of many people. Eun-woo's surprise didn't stop until that afternoon. In the evening, after dinner and evening apples, he again surprised his colleagues. He approached one of the known seniors sternly, then said politely, "Sunbeam, may I propose something? Just a minute before bed." The senior looked at him in surprise. "What else do you want to do, Eun-woo?" With a shy smile, Eun-woo replied, "I want to read a letter of motivation to all the friends in the barracks. Think of it as a reminder to stay strong." First, some thought it was just a formality, but when Eun-woo stands in the middle of the barracks, holding a small piece of paper that she wrote with her own hand, all goes quiet. "Friends," he began, "we all come here with different backgrounds. Some come from big cities, some from small villages. Some have been working for a long time, some are young. But now we are all in the same place, wearing the same uniform, and bearing the same burden. I know life here is not easy. Sometimes we feel tired, homesick, even want to give up. But I believe together we make everything lighter. Today I want to remind you that you are all amazing, and I'm proud to be here with you." As soon as the last sentence was said, the atmosphere of the barracks was suddenly quiet. Some soldiers looked down, others wiped the corners of the eyes. Not many people thought that Cha Eun-woo, a famous idol who used to appear glamorous on the screen, was able to speak so sincerely. The young soldier who was famous for being quiet suddenly said softly, "Eun-woo, I don't usually say much, but your words tonight really touched me. Thank you." Others chimed in hoarsely, "You have no idea how hard these last few days have been for me. But what you just said made me feel less alone." From that moment on, the aura in the barracks became warmer. The soldiers began to be more open, not averse to sharing stories and encouraging each other. Eun-woo's surprise wasn't just an internal story. Slowly, the news began to be heard in other barracks. A soldier from a different unit who happened to cross paths in the canteen commented, "I hear that in your barracks now the atmosphere is so exciting, huh?" He said Eun-woo made his own entertainment show. They can only smile proudly. "That's right, you have to see it. He really carries positive energy." Increasingly, the news spread widely. There were even rumors that some officers were also curious to see firsthand how an idol could make the harsh military atmosphere so fluid.